How about on this video we check out 5 money mistakes that men tend to learn about them way late as far as the money is concerned. They tend to realize these money lessons when it's too late, when they cannot even make any change as far as their life is concerned. And that is exactly in the next 15 minutes. If you stick with me, that can be 15 minutes that can transform your life. And by the way, by any chance, if you're watching this video and you are young, when I say young, like you're at your 20s and 30s, I'm telling you, this is that message that you say, hey, guess what? This is what that guys of their 50s and 60s say, hey, I wish I knew this back when I was my 20s. Guess what? Let's go ahead and watch this video. And by the way, don't forget to make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you go ahead and subscribe this to this YouTube channel, because I upload a video each and every day. And go ahead and make sure that you hit the like button and leave me a comment on the comment section. This is Good Just Speaking in case you're watching me for the first time. Let's go the board. Now, the very first thing that men tend to learn about money way late in their life is that never grow old without it. I repeat, as a man, thou, by the way, you should go ahead and add this like an 11th commandment. Thou shalt never grow old without money. Why? Somebody by the name Chris Rock said, only 3 things are loved unconditionally: the women, the children, and dogs. Those are the only 3 things that are loved unconditionally. For men are loved conditionally. And I'm telling you, if there is a mistake that you can do as a man, is to grow old without money. And these are the repercussions. So when you grow old without the money, you tend not be, I think it's good that I tell you as early as this. Men appreciation relies on the value that they produce. And that's why they say, hey, get a very nice car, get the money, you're going to attract all the ladies you want and all those kind of things you want. I mean, after all, if ladies matter to you anyway. And I don't want to, I wonder why should it be viewed in that perspective? Why can't the people say, hey, get all the money and make sure that you can get anything that you want in this world? Why should it be ladies? I mean, why should we narrow down? It is what it is. That's a very traditional way of look of things. But the point is this: if you grow old without money, and I'm borrowing this from an African setup, I've seen a lot of men struggling at their old age. They're not with kids, they're not with their wives, they're not with nothing, they just have nothing. You've spent like the rest of your life trying as best as they can to provide for your kids, to provide for your wife, provide for your siblings, provide for anybody and everybody who is out there. And now here you are, you're in a needy state. You thought by you doing that, sacrificing yourself, doing all those things, you're going to end up with you're going to end up with love, appreciation, and also what we call, and by the way, do you know what we usually say as men? Provide when if you're not appreciated. True. Just provide. That's our role. All right. Again, probably you're watching this from a Western country. We may not agree, but from African setup, that is what it is anyway, and you can go check it out there. Okay. Now, one thing that you're supposed to understand when you grow old without money is that obviously when you grow old, you tend to need a lot of cash flow because of the upkeeps and what have you. There you are. You'd never created any assets that are generating cash flow, and here you're in need of. I don't know whether you've realized this about life. The way you start is the way you end life. You will start with where you need help from the people, and the way you exit life is the same case. So either way, you end up in need of the people's help. All right? Let's go to the next point. The next point about the money that men tend to learn way late in their lives is that you tend to be over generous to the people who surrounds you when you're in your prime life, when you're prime age. This is whereby you go clubbing, you buy everyone a bottle of wine or bottle of whatever the thing you guys take, and you are out there footing each and every bill, trying to massage your ego, trying to prove to people indeed you're earning, you're a man, the rest are jokers and what have you. So in that process, you just want to fit in, you want to earn that big name that whoever, if so and so shows up to this place, everyone will be drunk and what. Listen, let me tell you one secret. And then you're doing that in the name of, hey, I'm doing this for 2 things. 1, to actually raise my ego. 2, to make sure that, probably for them, they're going to reciprocate that in life, or rather in future. That does not necessarily happen. What you're supposed to understand is that in this life, yeah, we have the situations whereby you can do something for somebody for them to reciprocate in life, but majority of the people do not do exactly that. The moment people tend to learn that you're kind, you can give, you can do those kind of things, they tend to be manipulative. And you never know. People who surround you think like, hey, these guys, they appreciate me, they love me, I mean a lot to them, I mean a lot in their lives and what have you. Wait until you no longer have money. Wait until you're in a situation whereby, you're in a cash crunch. You cannot even, that's the time now you learn the hard truth. And I've actually witnessed this. I had some guys who were in the corporate world, and the 2020 showed up, and of course you know what happened on 2020. Corona was there, and some of the people were retrenched or they were fired, and you could even see their friends. They were hanging around. They would call themselves the Subaru brothers, the whatever the thing it is. You can just imagine, and you can guess that kind of a vibe that they usually have out there. And I'm telling you, you know what happened after that guy got fired? Nothing, no friends, no nothing. And by the time the guy used to have a car, they could exchange cars with their friends. You go with mine, I go with yours, and what have you. Now here you are, you don't have a job, you don't have nothing. The guy just disappear out of your circle, and that is the worst mistake that we usually do to our fellow men. Because with ladies, they tend to usually have that place where they can vent their things or they vent their emotions, but with men, they rarely do that. So the problem is you end up becoming a sort of an isolated guy. You broke out there, nobody wants you, including then your family members and what have you. So do not be overgenerous. I did not say that you should not help. I did not say that you should not buy people things, but do so with what we call sort of a measure. Make sure that you know, hey, before I buy this, have I taken care of my savings? Have I taken care of my investment? Is my tomorrow secure just in case a BS happen? Is this and that's okay? And all those kind of things. So if you put all those into consideration, then you can be able to tell, hey, guess what? I'm moving on the right direction. Therefore, buying whatever I'm gonna buy for these guys, it's gonna be okay as far as the life is concerned. All right, let's go to the point number 3. The point number 3: men and money are interchangeably. Men and money. Men and money are what? Interchangeably. Or, I mean, you cannot even separate them. What does it mean? Like, I really hope I'm gonna be able to bring this point in a very perfect way. You see, what brings value to a man is what he owns. Okay? See, what you own as a man is what brings value to you. And in this case regard, what happens is that the less of it you have, obviously, the less respect that you will earn. And respect to men means a lot of things, okay? Because when you're respected, you tend to have that motivation, the zeal to work hard, and all those kind of things. So when we say men and money are interchangeably, it simply means is that you are supposed to have it. For you, by the virtue of you having it, you're going to earn respect in the society. And I don't know whether you know this. No matter how young you are, as far as you have it, you can even sit down very old people and advise them, provided you have it. I repeat, does not, by the way, it's like we are no longer living in an era whereby we used to say, hey, you can be sat down by older people and you get an advice from them. If today you front two guys here, you front a broke old guy on white hair and another young guy as they're 27, 26, wealthy, multi-millionaire, maybe a forex trader or whatever the thing it is, a Bitcoin trader, whatever the thing it is, or a freelancer, and then you tell them, hey, who will you go for an advice? Most of the people will flock to the guy who is young and a millionaire and has the money and all those kind of things. Why? Because you have more of it, then they assume that you have a lot of knowledge. And sometimes, maybe true, sometimes not true. Why? Some of people tend to be scammer, and then you end up. By the way, I don't know whether. But by the way, who has ever gotten a motivation from a politician? Especially from Africa. A politician who can sit you down and tell you how to grow well and who? I mean, just tell me if you've ever gotten something from a politician, what exactly can they, I don't know whether you realized this. It's only in Africa where the politicians are the wealthiest, the wealthy individuals. But if you go to the developed world, you've realized that, most of the wealthy people are not even in politics. They're just normal entrepreneurs, out there and such kind of a thing. So anyway, the point was not to bring forth the entrepreneurs here. The point was to, where you tend to have a lot of it, then you tend to have a lot of value, quote unquote, so that at least people can actually go ahead and listen to you. So men and money are interchangeably, and that's what you're supposed to understand. And I think this point can actually be, sort of explained further in better way if I introduce the 4th point. Men are born in a valley, okay? Men are born in a what? Men are born in a valley. What does it mean? Okay, men are born in a valley, at the cliff there, at the down point there, okay, on the canyon. So what they do is that they up their value by virtue of them getting out of the valley as they go up. So that is exactly what happens. So men are born without no value, that's for sure. So what happens as the time goes by, depends on what they gain, the experience, the money they make, and the wealth they accumulate, they tend to up in their game. And also for example, if you pick a man or a young guy at 18 or 20, 21, 22, 23, even 25. You pick that individual, probably that individual has or is at his lowest value as far as the life is concerned. At that particular point, if you compare that guy at 20 years old, 22 years old, or 21 years old with the lady at his age mate, the lady has more value compared to that individual. That's why we say men are born at the valley and ladies are usually born at the top there. All right. So what happens is that for you to be there, of course, you need to work yourself along up the ladder so that at least you can up your value and also be up there. And this is why you really need to consume the materials that add value to you. Stop taking these drugs and alcohols in an uncontrollable way. You know, try to consume infotainment, learn. Whenever you come here, you talk about investment, pick it up as early as you can. Add value, add value. Don't chase women, don't chase women. Add value so that when you add value, then those things will actually be added back to you as you move along. But what happens is that men tend to, especially when you're young at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, around there, you tend to think that that lady who is your age mate, you tend to think you're on the same value. No, you're not the same value. Okay. So what you're supposed to do is that you up your game as you move along the way. And I've said your value is usually directly proportional to that what you own, to that what is called by your name, that what is actually under your name. So men are born in the cliff, or rather at the bottom, that is the valley, and they usually add their value as they go up. And this is a money lesson that you tend to learn it way later in life. By the way, go pull a man who is at their 30s and they're doing okay financially. I'm telling you, they're not on a game of chasing women. They're just relaxing. Actually, women are the one who on their DMs and what have you. Because even women, they love somebody who has substance, somebody who is on their mission, somebody who is actually pursuing their dreams and all those kind of. You become attractive. And I always tell guys, thou shalt never ever go to women's inbox. Do not do that. Work hard. Work hard to a point whereby they're the one who comes to your inbox. And if you've not reached to a point whereby the ladies are the one who comes to your inbox, you are way, 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 way early. You're just getting started. Take your time and move along the way. The problem that usually men do is that the moment the money trying to kick in, the moment you start to get some cash here and there, you get yourself into drinking uncontrollably, you get yourself an array of ladies and women and all those kind of things. And then you actually ruin your life, and that's what you are getting. You actually dismantle it and you squander everything. You go back to square one. All right, we go to the last point. The last point, that is the point number 5, is none other than having what we call investing too early, investing early. You know, there are these things about investing early. The earlier you start, the better it becomes and simpler it becomes. Especially when you start early, obviously you may not have a lot of money, but you can leverage on time. And I told you one thing, guys, a time will come. Right now, probably you're watching me at your 20 or 21, 22. Probably you're consuming this video in your campus, you know, under your blankets or under your whatever, and you're feeling like, what this guy saying? A time will come when you realize that time was your most luxurious thing that you ever owned, especially when you hit your 50s. And this is a common phrase that you find with people, especially that age. If someone can take me back to 20s, I can do miracles. So why don't you consult them? What is this miracles they say that they can do if someone was to take them back to their 20s? That's the biggest question that you should ask yourself. Go ahead, then there's a challenge that I've actually thrown out to you. So start early. Start early. For example, MMA, if you can start with 100 shilling, you can actually start the shares. You can start what we call the bonds, the bills, the whatever. If you're in a position to start small businesses, you know, grow yourself, learn, pick this one. If it doesn't work, pick the other one, pick the other one. You have the chances of trying as many as you can. You are not compared to someone who is at their 50s or their 60s, so that you can be able to grow yourself, learn it along the way, and you can be able to propagate yourself towards the achieving the greatest. This is Good Joseph speaking. As always, make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe, and leave me a comment on the comment section. And if you'd like to get my booklet, my number is on the description of this specific video, and you can give me a shoot or a call, and we can be able to have a discussion. Thanks, and goodbye, and see you in the next time.